quite honestly can't remember ever not gathering seeds in my everybody's garden. But I do remember being in my grandma's garden when I wasn't tall enough to reach the raspberries when they got ripe. But I was still welcome in the garden. We used to play in the garden. And my grandma and my mother taught me everything, how to weed, how to take care of the soil, what plants liked each other, what plants didn't. It was all about nature. You learned to go with the wind, the water. It doesn't matter. Everything that nature gives us comes back to us. And that's what we learned as kids. Yeah, I want to show you. Look at the sunflower. He's so happy, Jean. We don't have much space, a lot of us, especially if you live in a city. You maybe got, you know, like I said, my postage stamp garden. But 1 or 2 tomatoes gives you lovely fresh tomatoes.
How much space do you think you have here?
I don't know, maybe 7 by 7. And right now there's, say, there was 8 beets, enough strawberries for a couple of meals, tomatoes forever.
Yeah.
There's cucumbers down in there that I think there's 3 plants, and they all get along, so they're having a good time.
And you have Swiss chard over there.
Yeah, Swiss chard for greens, and I have all sorts of different. In a small garden, you can grow 10 carrots with seed, and if you leave 2 of those carrots in the ground, they will go to seed, and you will get carrot seeds, and it will be yours. See these oregano? Where the little flower is now, that will be the seeds after they've completely flowered and dried out. Then you come and collect them, and the amount of seed this plant puts out, everyone in Nanaimo could have an oregano plant. Look at him, isn't he cool? Wonder if he has a family.
And what's he eating?
Do you think there's aphid seed? They're so small, I very seldom see them.
Well, and you also volunteer at the learning
the
center.
Bevan Learning Garden, yes.
Yes.
They are wonderful. It was the first time that I'd ever gone somewhere where they weren't aware of my vision problem, and I didn't tell anybody. They just accepted me, and they gave me jobs, and finally one day I had to tell the truth to somebody that I couldn't see the seeds. They were too small.
I'm just working on these. I don't know if they're a little bit small for you.
Yeah, I can see them in a blob, but I'm pretty sure separate they'd be too little.
So we can do some transplanting.
Yeah?
You can take that kale and transplant it.
Okay. If you are interested in learning, that's a place to go. If you're new, they'll tell you anything you ask, and they'll welcome you into the greenhouse to teach you stuff. So, I mean, I could teach you if you come to my house, though.
I'll take you up on that. We try and gauge the work that we ask them to do or suggest to their physical abilities and disabilities as well. And it could be anything from seeding, transplanting, to weeding, all sorts of things in between. And one of my jobs is to think up this job list.
See this guy? He's trying to leave and go and live in the other garden. Look at him.
Oh, I don't know why he would do that.
Me
So,
either.
look at these.
Oh, look at them. They're
Look at the
beautiful.
grooves
They look
on
like,
them,
like
the
Walt
colour
Disney
of them.
pumpkins or something. They're
Yeah.
awesome looking. Jean, we need to buy some acreage.
Yeah, maybe we could find someone to lease us some acreage.
Yeah. Okay, see Jane, you see the orange thing here?
Yeah.
What they did was tie off any of the plants that they wanted to save for next year's seed. The seeds are inside here, kind of like a pea seed, but considerably bigger. And they are broad beets.
Okay.
And so we just let them get good and big and start to dry out on the plant so that we have what we know is a good seed.
Why we mostly grow open pollinated plants, because they can come true. We can be sure that they're going to come true year after year.
So what is an open pollinated seed?
It's one, they're often referred to as heirloom or heritage, but not necessarily are they those things as well. But there are ones that can, if the seed is saved, that seed can be planted and we can be sure that the next year's crop provides the same plants as last year's crop, and also that we can save seed from that crop and carry on, and it can come true.
But at home, what I do is snip about
Well,
here
yeah, that's what I was
and
thinking,
let him
yeah.
dry out, and then put him inside a brown
Paper
paper
bag?
garbage
Yeah,
bag,
yeah.
or not garbage bag, lunch bag,
Yeah.
and then let him really dry out, and then just tap, and they all
Yeah.
fall off in the bag, and I don't lose so many. I'm sure I still lose some, but.
More and more we're beginning to get the knowledge to save our own seed, tomatoes in particular, because they're quite easy. We squish them out of the tomatoes, the best tomatoes usually, ideally, and then we spread the seeds out on paper towels to dry. We label them with the variety and the date. These are Canestrino Toscana 2017.
You're going to show me how these beautiful asparagus are coming along.
Okay,
Wow,
see?
look at all those seed pods.
Okay, so there's, like 4 or 5 to a branch all the way across, and there's 6 to 8 seeds that will grow a full asparagus
In
in
each pod.
each pod.
Yeah.
So as you can see, that's a lot of asparagus.
You have to have a little patience though, because it takes, what, 2 to 3 years to get
To get a
asparagus?
decent plant and to begin to able to eat the asparagus.
Yeah.
But it's worth it because, of course, this is what they do for you every year when they come up, and
Yeah.
they're pretty. I can't even look at seeds because I immediately want to pick them, but none of them are red enough
They're
yet.
not ready yet.
No.
Probably the best thing to remember is that it's an experiment every time you do something. I would prefer to have my own seed and know what it ate while it was growing up, so that when I eat it, I know what I'm getting. I don't know what's coming for us if we don't slow down and realize that we don't really own the planet. We're just stewards, that's all. And my grandkids are learning from me, but I don't know whether there'll be the land or the water to do it. I hope.
Me too.